Shout out Sports Card Show. Tell them ZiggyNo sent you. We got breaking news. Got a great show. It is August 4th. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Like, get those comments ready. Send me some new channels. Have a great day. Let's go ahead and jump into the content. Got so much to talk about. Okay, let's start with breaking news. Last night, Bench Fair Media broke news. The Topps canceled largest distributor. That's Go GTS. At the end of the year, they will no longer be distributing Topps/Topps Fanatics products. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Let that reverberate. Peachtree is owned by Beckett. They're one of the other big distributors. Wonder if the lips are puckering up on some other guys. I'm excited. As Mike even says in this video, why do we need distributors? I don't know. Let's jump into some other great content we got going for you guys. Okay, great video here from Cards and Comics. Talks about the duality of the show, the tale of two sides and two events, one being the show, the other being trade night. I was there on Thursday, and I agree with you on that. At the show, there didn't seem to be a lot of buying and selling at the show. It seemed like people were pent up, waiting to see if they get some liquidity at the trade night. The trade night kind of gives liquidity. People want to trade, they get some cash. And then I think you free up. But as I think Jason points out, trade nights compete with dealers. You know what I'm saying? Trade nights don't compete with local card stops who can host them or the events, but trade nights do compete with dealers. And maybe dealers are the old way. Maybe trade nights are the future. Maybe we need more trade nights. Like, could you imagine if just an event where you have Panini, Fanatics, Topps, whatnot, a bunch of corporate sponsors and a trade night event? We don't need dealers, right? Do we? Do we need dealers? I don't know. Something to think about. I really enjoyed this video. Listen to it. Great insights. Another good video here from East West Sports Cards. This gentleman breaks open an entire box. This is the video 4 of the Panini Gold Packs. I was just thinking about this. I don't think the Gold Packs were around last year, Gold and Silver Packs. I don't think we've seen Gold and Silver Packs since 2019. And my impression of this is that Panini's taken advantage of the fact people put any value in anything that's shiny and numbered. And they've numbered and shinied the heck out of this. A lot of sticker autos, a lot of interesting stuff. I'll be interested to see how this stuff does in the aftermarket. Will it get graded? In the past, these cards never did as well, although they're more rare because they're not as many made and their print runs are less than the traditional products. These products typically, these VIP, which would you would think, again, more rare, don't do as well. It's kind of that illogical thing in the hobby. I'm curious to see what happens there. And I'm also wondering, did that gentleman get his value? He rips through like hundreds of these packs. Was it worth it? Okay, Omar, Retro Hoops. Listen, love your channel, dude. You're beating this horse to death. This Panini whining about them screwing you because you can't get a game used patch in your RPA. Listen, first of all, let's take a step back and think about this. Is this Panini's fault? No, it's not. Do you not think that 10 years ago when basketball was crashing and no one bought basketball cards, that it was probably a lot easier to get a piece of game use patches, stick it into a jersey? But today, man, it's a lot harder. A lot of these players don't give their jerseys up. They're doing player swaps. Panini can't get game use material that they used to get. Now, maybe it's hard to get player worn. I don't know. Maybe they're getting lazy. But here's the reality. People are still buying. People would rather pay for a refractor number to 25 than a jersey, some of the more ones. So if you want to blame anybody, blame the consumer. Don't blame Panini, man. Panini's trying to hold things together while they're going on to business. Panini's got bigger problems to worry about. I just think, the first time we made this video was great. The third time, I just don't get it, man. I think it's great for clicks, if that's what we're into. I just think, again, there's bigger problems, and we'll get into those later on with Panini. You see this, man? Ken Golden, dude, you are the man. Brian brought this to my attention. Brian's basketball, but we don't talk about who this was back. Yeah, it's Omar. You know him over at Retro Hoops. Brian's basketball, great video here. A little shout out, some thumbs up. Is Fox News a infomercial channel? Because this is just a commercial here. I mean, because this dude, he grifts his logo, man. He has the contract, the Bobby Bonilla contract, and a jersey worn by somebody, I forget who it was. But this one I love. So Stuart Barney says, well, why is this one going to be worth $3 million? And he goes, well, because the last one sold for $2 million, and that only had LeBron's. This has LeBron, Kobe, and Michael Jordan. So it's going to sell for $3 to $4 million. I'm thinking, well, that's logical. Why didn't Barney say, dude, why didn't they go for $6 million? Last time you were on my show, you told me it was going to go for $6 million there. Anyway, great video. I did enjoy it. It made me giggle. And that's what we try to do in the show, make you laugh, think, or cry. Okay. Golden Label Sports, new sub to me. Give him some sub love. Great video on how to be successful selling on eBay. Just gives you tips. Talks about promo listing, which I've never done. Made me think about it. I might do that. Great tips. I listened to Ty on Bench Clear Media, gives a lot of tips, but this was really good. I enjoyed this video. Check it out. Tell him ZiggyNo sent you. Really good video here. Really big fan of Ryan Breakout Cards. Been watching his channel for a couple years now, watching his growth, and give him some sub love. The expert on sports card shows and vintage. And for a young guy, man, just makes me think of this guy is like the next baseball card collector, investor, dealer. Him and Chris Sewell should write a book together. Just really kindred spirits. Enjoyed watching him go through the set. This because he knows the set. He talks about like there's Jesse Owens cards in here. One card, there's 4 in the world, and it's just really, really, really good video. Enjoyed it. Cajun Cards, Brian. Cheers, man. I was on his block list. He removed me. I want to thank Brian for that. And does a great video on his big regrets. Gives some great tips on making a little more time, planning things out. Really good video, and I hope to see Brian and many others at the National in Chicago next year. We're going to stop talking about the National, but before we do that, let's talk about sports card nonsense. These guys, high production, a lot of money. They've had a lot of things help them out. They are, in my opinion, kind of like they're like a little bit like the Andrew and Cage. I mean, there's a lot of similarities. New York feel, right? 2 guys playing off each other. This video is interesting. I forget this dude, Jesse. Jesse kind of picks on the lady because he makes fun of Wild Card, but he doesn't make fun of in front of her. Kind of flirts with her. She says, "Oh, Wild Card been around forever." Like, no, you went out of business. You came back. Anyway, it's a really interesting video. I did see these guys at the National interviewing everybody. They interviewed Jeff. They interviewed, I think, Daps. They had their booth just packed. Also got a pack of cards from these guys. So I want to say thank you for Card Shop Life. I hope they good luck with that. I don't understand what it is or what. I think it's the same as Whatnot. So it's not Whatnot, but it is like Whatnot. You know, Whatnot. Flipping Steve video, man. This one's a great video. Listen, first of all, everything I'm saying here, I love all these content creators. I appreciate everybody. So I hope I'm not ruffling any feathers here. But this one I found a little ironic because Flipping Steve is making fun of flipping. And what I mean by that, he's talking specifically about he's talking to these young guys, you know, it says 12 and 18, who come to him and say, "Look, what do you buy that card? It's a $1,200 card." He goes, "Hey, why don't you sell that card?" He goes, "Well, my bottom is 1,000." He goes, "Hey, we'll sell it for 900." He goes, "Why 900?" He goes, "Well, because I can sell it for 1,000 and make 100." He goes, "Well, you can sell it for 1,000 to the guy across the room. Just tell the guy across the room to come to me." He goes, "No, I'll take it over to him. I'll make $100." No, why don't you, so this conversation, I'm kind of shortcutting this, but this mentality of the youth today that they should get 10% because they walked a card across the trade room. I go back to DAP Sports when I saw him, like it was a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, we bought a card for $10,000 and he walks over and sells it to Jeff for $11,000. And I thought to myself, that to me is not what the sports card hobby is about. That's not the hobby as far as friends. Now, it's different. A dealer will sell a card to somebody who wants to buy it. A flipper, that flipping mentality, that's like, I think and I'm not trying to knock flippers, guys. You want to buy a box of cards and you want to sell it for twice as much because that's the market value. That's flipping as well. But when you're basically walking a card across the room, like I call that connecting people together, being a friend, helping somebody out. I don't know, man. That just seems weird to me. It's just bizarre. Like I'm trying to think, like in other businesses, do they do that as well? I mean, I guess this is kind of the mentality of go get business and get 5% of everybody's business. But anyway, I'm digressing too long. Flipping Steve makes great points. Is the future in jeopardy on this idea of 10%? Also reminds me, like every place you go now, you want tip. They want tip, right? They want 10%. And you go to Tropical Smoothie, right? You get a smoothie, you pick it up, and there's an option to tip them for the tropical smoothie that they made for you. Like I'm thinking to myself, what is the? I know someone's going to be mad at me for this. What is the tip for that? I don't understand. You didn't go anywhere. Okay. Next few examples are going to talk about influencer privilege. First, I want to thank Emil for sharing a story about selling his Nike promo card, which he tells you he bought for $34,000 and he sells it for a trade and cash, $3,000 in cash and $9,000 in cards, which includes some Herberts. Interesting. Love it. I love the fact he shares it. It's interesting. It leaves him exposed. Again, I remember watching him last year. He bought a Damian Lillard card for $3,000. And again, I guess part of it is I think this money isn't as important to him. That money isn't as important. I mean, these guys are spending $20,000, $30,000 losses. Like it's not as important. I would be sick to my stomach. I think I'd stop my channel if I lost $20,000 in cards like that. Anyway, I appreciate him sharing because I think this is important. People learn that. Now, I wonder where he'll go next. These Herberts concern me. Like he probably bought that with a plan to sell them. Like football is not his thing. So again, I'll be watching, see where he goes. Influencer privilege. He talks about how he was able to get deals done, find a Grail card and get access to like dealer ability to sell because of their podcast, their show. They talk about they openly talk about this, which again, I'm not knocking it. I'm just giving you an example of this privilege of being an influencer, of having a podcast. And again, podcast, you can just say, I've got 50,000 downloads, and you can have like a bot just downloading for you all day, I guess. I don't know what podcasts are. I look at views and I look at subs on YouTube. It's 2,000 subs and, a couple hundred views per thing, maybe 1,000 views. Open stores, man. Another good example here. And again, I like Lucas Tigers and Bronze guys. And hopefully you guys won't take this the wrong way, but I know someone else is thinking this too, because when I'm watching this and listening, I'm thinking it, someone else is thinking it. Listen, they talk about how they go to Collectible, who's a sponsor there. So Collectibles gives them a box of optic football to give away to kids. And Andrew's giving the packs away to kids, but apparently he runs out of kids to give packs away to because him and Cage and some other people open the packs. Funny, isn't it? They're at the National and they run out of kids to find to give this packs to. And Cage pulls a downtown number to 25. Note to self. We have now started numbering those, what used to be called rare shiny insert cards. Now they're numbered 25, 10, and they'll be 1-1. So again, just shows you how Panini just get you on the hook with the shiny. You like the insert, hook you now, you got the 25, you're going to go get me the It's just, it just kills me. So you complain about that when you want to complain about Panini, Omar. Complaining about them with the patches, that's like old. Complain about that other geez. Anyway, they get one of these cards that later on they tell you the story gets valued at $3,000. I think they graded it and then it's valued at $3,000. And they used to get some card that in their collection. And I just want to point out again, privilege, because you got access to that box. No one gave me an optic box to give away to kids that I got to open some packs and get a $3,000 card out of. Did anybody else get that? No. So it does pay off to have a channel, guys. You should get a channel. Last quick example of this. This is from Dustin talking about this. And it really goes back to Brad asked about this. They talk about Ryan and the trade that Dustin did. Ryan was out of inventory quickly. Part of that is you got to think of the young people coming to the show. He's a friendly face. You've seen him on. He's going to give you a good deal. Now, he's still going to be buying at 75% of comps, right? Or, let's say 80, 60, 75% of comps and selling you at under comps. So think about this. If I have the influence where I can buy from people at, let's say 60, 70% of comps, and I can sell at 90% of comps and look good, I'm basically just playing middleman, just catching it and just redirecting. That velocity of influence is very powerful. Very, very powerful. Like the hardest thing I have when I'm trying to sell my cards is the velocity of getting cards sold. Like I see them selling. Mine have to wait. They have to wait there longer. I sell them. I price them under the comps. I have to wait longer. I'll accept offers. But I don't use my influence to sell my cards. You guys don't know my eBay account. I don't share that. Please don't look it up. I don't know if you can. And I don't want to, right? I don't want to use that influence to sell. And I am still selling. I'm not buying. But that's my preference. I'm not knocking this. I think it's important. In fact, these guys talk about here how, setting up a dealer, that's part of the advantage is that you get to see people coming to you and want to sell you stuff. And you can buy stuff from them, right? That's a massive advantage that you have being in that role. So really, really enjoyed this, guys. I just want to quickly say, if you're wondering, if you're paying attention this long, a couple events coming up that I want to put in your calendar. The CSS show is October 21st. That's actually Chantilly show. I'm thinking about going there. $325 for a table. I'm thinking about getting a table or maybe 2 tables with some other influencers. Yeah, that's why I said influencers. And maybe see if we could hold some tables down for people. What do you think about that? Let me know if you're interested. Maybe even sponsor a trade night that night. I think they did one last time. And this is something I highly recommend. Put this on your radar. September 30th, October 1st. This is the summit, industry summit now. We'll see what news happens with that breaking news about the distributor news. But check this out. There's my information. $749 to attend. $749 to attend. Man, is it worth it? That could be the next event, though, Las Vegas. Guys, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Share the channel. And if you check out the channels I've sent you to, leave a comment. Tell them ZiggyNo sent you. Subscribe to their channels. Sub Love. Hobby Love. And let's tell the truth. Let's shout it out, man. Let's talk it out, too. Appreciate it. Have a good day.